Stygian Onslaught is a mess and not the fun kind. Once again, we see the same pattern in gacha game design, slap together a new game mode, attach some enticing rewards, reuse the same enemy types, and crank up their HP to create the illusion of difficulty. This kind of artificial difficulty might work in some genres, but in my experience, gacha games are not one of them. Before I got into content creation for gacha games, I spent about 10,000 hours in Destiny 2, mainly as a PvP player, but I also dabbled into PvE as well. I did raid carries and helped players through Grandmaster Nightfalls. For context, a Nightfall is a more challenging strike, which is basically a co-op mission with waves, objectives, and a boss. A Grandmaster Nightfall takes that concept and cranks it up to 11. You're under leveled by about 40 points, so every enemy hits like a truck. But here's the difference. Just to give you guys an example, this is Swerg. She's a Destiny 2. She helps people with the Grandmaster Nightfalls, right? And this is a barrier. So around 40%, it puts up a barrier and it starts to recover its health. The bow has anti-barrier rounds, right? So it's made for cranking down that shield. And once you crank that shield, and once you destroy that shield, it's going to get stunned, giving you time to destroy it before its next barrier comes up, right? So this is where working with your teammates against this HP inflation is actually like, it actually makes it like fun and really engaging. So when you have a team, this forces actual coordination. You and your teammates bring unique loadouts tailored for different enemy types and encounter mechanics. You're not just slamming your head against a wall of HP bars. You're adapting, strategizing, and playing off of each other's strengths. That's real difficulty. Now, if we compare this to gacha games, inflated HP pools don't encourage teamwork, creativity, or strategy. They punish players for not having the right units, maxed gear, or some specific meta combo that the devs indirectly designed the mode around. It's not about skill, it's about whether or not you pulled the right character or upgraded the right resource path. Because the enemies have such high HP thresholds, the gameplay loop becomes tedious and monotonous. You're not being challenged in any way. You're just chipping away at massive health bars for minutes on end. It doesn't test skill or strategy, just patience. And in gacha games, where repetition is already baked into the design, that kind of artificial difficulty only makes the experience more draining. And the worst part of this, you don't even walk away feeling accomplished, you just feel really drained. I've never reacted to a video from Bran, but apparently he is extremely disappointed with the Stygian Onslaught game mode. This is supposed to be a new in-game mode, and we crank this up to 1.25. I don't want to keep you guys here too long, but let's get right into it and see what he has to say.
I am so disappointed, it is unbelievable. If you're not aware, Genshin Impact just released the Stygian Onslaught endgame content, and I really need to get this off my chest because I feel like I'm going kind of insane. So in Genshin Impact, we've had multiple types of endgame over the past few years. We've had the Spiral Abyss, which is basically just fighting against hyper-inflated HP overworld enemies in a timer. We've had Imaginarium Theater.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, or if you haven't played Genshin in a while, they reduced how many enemies there are in Spiral Abyss, but they inflated the HP of the enemies that are like still remaining. So I went back recently and tried to clear with my like Ayato just to see if he could clear and to see if Nilu Bloom could still clear. That shit was rough. Oh man.
which makes sure that you have a lot of characters built and then puts you in situations where you have to fight against hyperinflated HP enemies against a timer, but with some cool little buffs here and there. Now we have Stygian Onslaught, which I really expected to be something a little bit different. Obviously, I expected a timer. I expected it to be a longer timer, and I expected the enemies to have like super fun mechanics and stuff and different things, kind of like the cubes in that one event where they did so many different movesets and stuff. And instead, what we got is basically Spiral Abyss with only bosses and a absolute boatload of HP and a really short timer. Now, I'm going to show you a few clips of me playing this for the first time from the easier difficulties. I started off at hard difficulty, so this is what hard difficulty looks like. This is piss easy. All right, let's see.
Bring it. Fulfill our pact.
All right, let's just get through this hard mode, and then we'll check out the actual difficult stuff, I guess. Let me take a look.
Target acquired. For the Lord of the Night.
Alrighty then.
Suffer the wrath of E. Manifest. Cryo incarnate. Merciless.
How many difficulties are there?
All right, there we go. So far was not very fun, but that's just because it was very easy, right? Then there's the menacing difficulty. This should be all right. We'll see.
Menacing?
Okay. Wait a minute. I know I'm not going to have a ton of time on these ones, but that's kind of the point, right? I'm trying not to use the C6 characters. Just try to do it in time. Bro, I really want Zhangling's fucking shit to proc. Holy fuck, did I take... Oh, maybe I took all of her artifacts off. That actually might be the case. Oh no. We're gonna have to restart this one, boys. What did I do? Oh god. Did I give him the Dea? Oh, I give... Bro, this makes so much more sense, man. This makes so much more fucking sense. I gave him the Dea for the trial yesterday, dude.
Okay, so he tried to like nerf himself because he does have some C6 characters, and obviously he doesn't want to just blow through it because then it turns it into like a non-factor, right? You want to be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand what everyone else is going through.
20 seconds left. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a freaking corner. Oh well, we're good. Boom. Wait, where'd my ult go? There it is. All right, there we go.
I heard the like Riz meme sound right there, and I was like, why did that sound just play? Like, why did that sound clip just play? But then he said, I'm stuck. So like it hit me, but it hit me late.
Oh, that's fine. Good damage. Very nice damage. Yeah, we should be absolutely fine here. Charge attack to get the extra rifts.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't have S coffee over there, but I thought about like loading up my game just to pull Skirk. I thought about it. I thought about it. I'm not gonna lie. She looks so fun.
We don't really need it, but we'll do it anyway. It's fun. Boom. All right, nice. Bad artifact, and bad artifact. All right, gamers, nothing is changing. Great. Then we have Fearless, and I'll keep it a bot, dude. Fearless was like, it was already pretty damn difficult for me, and I have C6 characters. I didn't use the C6 characters that I have, just as a heads up. I tried specifically using the C0 or C2 maximum characters that I have, and this is what that went like. Wait, where'd my ult go? It went off. What?
Bro, I swear, like, the more HP enemies have, the chat, you can even see it says HP inflation. I swear the more HP enemies have, the more things go wrong. You like normally when when enemies don't have that much HP, you don't have to play like perfectly, right? Because things like can go wrong and you can still clear, right? You might go back and optimize those runs later just for like, you know, for fun or whatever, right? But like when you're against a timer and something goes wrong and the enemies have like massive HP, you start feeling it a little bit more. It's like the pressure to have to play absolutely perfect. It's disgusting.
Didn't you plunge? Is that a normal mechanic or is that new? New? Sick. Okay. Yeah, guys, Garming does not clear this. Even a good fucking Garming build, that does not clear this. Holy shit. The damage is just non-existent. Bro has far too much health.
So someone that plays the game just said a 4-star, probably at like C6, which is like typical, cannot clear that. Cannot. When your 4 stars are not able to clear in-game game modes, that is bad. That is bad. Yeah.
Okay, move your fucking fat ass hand, man. Your hand is fucking pissing me off. Hello? Alright, there we go. First half done. Doable, winnable. Without my C6s, though, I'm kind of screwed for the second half here because I overbuilt my C6s and not so much the other fucking characters. So let me see. Let's go. Let's see if y'all can fucking cook. Guys, I'm not even fucking entertaining this shit. What the fuck is going on? Hello? I'm not even entertaining this for more than 5 fucking seconds.
Oh no.
This is doable, though, I think. Deadass, I think this might actually be doable. Brian, bro, I'm listening to chat, man. What the fuck do you want from me? Bro, all of y'all say this wouldn't work. We're doing about as good as the fucking Al-Hytham team in all fairness, so I don't know about that one. I can't do the Kinich team because we used Bennett in this one as well. If we try this one again without Bennett, I probably could, but then who am I going to replace in this one?
Oh,
Fuck it,
man.
try this.
This looks painful.
Come on! Whoa! What? There was a second left!
Oh,
Alright, I'm holding him.
I would have been livid.
On the life reset was worth it. There we go. Okay, good shit. I like what I'm feeling here. Yeah, I'm good. Let's fucking get this shit done, and then I want to try the final difficulty. Give me my terrible artifacts. My terrible artifact. Sorry. Then we have the final difficulty. Dire difficulty. And this
Wait,
is
that
where my
wasn't even the
biggest problem
fire? The
comes,
final?
because whoever-
That wasn't the final? That wasn't the final? I mean, okay.
of us have implemented a lot of really good changes recently, in my opinion, but this endgame mode is genuinely just disappointing to see, at least in my opinion. Now, listen, there's people that have cleared this dire difficulty, or at least one person, a Japanese player, with C0 or 1 characters, but their builds are absolutely insane, godlike. Like,
I mean, that's always going to be a thing. There's always going to be that one person, right? You know, it's going to take them 8 billion attempts, or they're just going to have unrelatable builds, and it's just not going to be like a struggle to them at all. But it's usually like 1, maybe like 2 people. Like, I don't know, bro. Yeah, of course, it doesn't matter in anything. It's the whole like solo dungeon argument, right? Oh, but I can do it with solo dungeon. Yeah, you can't. People can, but you can't. You know, it's that whole thing.
I'm talking perfect artifacts, and they cleared it with like 1 second to spare on each one. For like 99.9% of free-to-play or even low spenders, this difficulty is almost unattainable. Even for whales, dude. Like, I went into this and I would have been perfectly fine if these bosses had a lot of really cool gimmicks and mechanics that you could do with the elemental reactions and stuff, but instead what we get is a restrictive buff/debuff, but it's not for cool things like mechanics. I had a chat with Memos where I went over what mechanics and stuff I'd want to see, just a couple of examples, so here's the clip from that. Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Fucking stressed, bro.
Yeah, I know.
What did you mean by you think Genshin's got a limit because of the gameplay? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so like, I mean, of course, I have to take some examples like Withering Waves or ZZ or stuff like that. Like, there's no other option. I don't know, like, there's no parry system. There's no real, like, dodge system. The monsters are not, like, super dynamic. Maybe they could make more dynamic monsters, like, that move a little bit or that have, like, more dynamic mechanics. I don't have, like, an idea necessarily of what they could do, but...
I mean, I can tell you what they could do. Like, even though there's no parry built into the game, you could give the monster or the enemy a way to parry it. You know what I mean? Like the parry itself doesn't have to exist intrinsically, like with your characters. You could make a mechanic so it's like if when you attack the monster at this specific point, it causes a parry, right? Boom, you parried the monster, 80% crit damage bonus for your entire team. Something like that would help alleviate this difficulty, but I don't see that happening.
I don't know, if you look at Wuwa, they have some, I mean, the parry system makes it more dynamic, but they also have some monsters where if you counterattack at the perfect moment, not necessarily a parry, but just a counterattack or a dodge at the perfect moment, it can impact like the reactions of the boss or stuff like that. So yeah, yes, they could make something like that, but on the other hand, like the characters are more or stiffer than ZZ or than Wuwa's. Like, yes, it's frustrating to just have like more HP.
Even if we're talking about ZZZ, I mean, I will praise this boss. The miasma boss, the miasma priest, such a sick boss. Such a sick boss. The whole parry thing, and it's like purple mode. It feels really good. It feels really good. It destroys the miasma shield, right? Even outside of like these Swan teams, like it's incredible mechanic. Incredible mechanic. One of the best deadly assault bosses we've had in a while, and I know a lot of people really hate the hate Bringer. So I'm happy the miasma priest worked out so well.
Few more HP, but at the same time, it's like a little bit difficult to find the perfect solution. I feel like
I agree with you, and I don't think that is a perfect solution. But what I will say is, you're right with Wuwa. The thing is with Wuwa, for something like holograms, for example, I'm gonna use holograms specifically since it's like the end game that I typically take part in. I don't do tower because it's just fucking Spiral Abyss for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
For holograms, it's very important to do the mechanics that you just mentioned, right? Like parrying and also dodging. And you mentioned Genshin not having a dodge system. You're right. It has the same dodge system as Wuwa, realistically, just without the perfect dodge and the counter.
Yeah.
The thing for me is, for hologram, the timer's so fucking long. I've never lost a hologram to the timer. I feel like for Genshin as well, it's like you mentioned them being kind of limited based on Genshin's gameplay. For me, it's the total fucking opposite. I think they don't utilize their own gameplay features at all for endgame combat, because literally, what do you use elemental reactions for other than dealing damage or like getting rid of a specific shield? Why is there zero mechanics in this goddamn game with such a complex elemental reaction combat system where you can't ever utilize it so it feels like you're utilizing the element system?
I see what he's saying. I actually don't think that's a bad take at all. I know Tectone reacted to this. I wonder what Tectone thinks about him giving that take. 'Cause I feel like that's a good take. Am I crazy? That's a pretty good take. If you create basically it's like what I said with the whole parry thing, but instead you're using Genshin's own elements to like essentially debuff the boss, right? Like if you do this type of reaction against the boss, then this is amplified, and you know, it makes the gameplay more intuitive, right? So I actually totally wholeheartedly agree with what he's saying right now.
Other than just dealing a shit ton of damage.
I understand what you mean. Like we could well use the reactions more to like actually do stuff rather than just more damage.
If you're gonna make it restrictive, why not make it fun and restrictive? Remove the timer, make it so that at every 20% health interval you get a different mechanic. If you're already forced to use, for example, a freeze team, make it so for example, it's a boss with, I don't know, 2 big ass legs and you gotta freeze both legs on the ground to stop it from moving at a certain point in the floor, and then that point in the floor starts doing damage over time or something. You know, something interesting.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that could be
That's low-key kind of a cook. That's like so random, but it's low-key, like that's low-key kind of cool. I don't know. It seems like it'd be kind of annoying, but I don't know.
Maybe a little bit like the weekly bosses, because like weekly bosses have some like interesting mechanic. I mean, interesting.
Sure.
How you see it, but like
yes, this is back when I used to play.
And just like deal damage. Or
Senora boss.
I feel like Genshin just do not utilize their elemental reaction system for endgame in the slightest, other than, like I say, hyperinflating enemy HP to make you have to deal a shit ton more damage. It just bores the fuck out of me when I know it could be so much better than it is. But sadly, that's just not the case here. It's quite literally, again, just hyperinflated overworld enemies. Bob, you can find the actual numbers, but I think it's like 17 million HP or something, maybe even more. And the reward that you get for this incredibly difficult challenge is weapon skins. Something that when I saw were getting added to the game, I was incredibly excited. But the rewarded weapon skins that you get come from these items. There's a 4-star and a 5-star version of these weapon skins, and don't get me wrong, listen, I'll keep it above here. The weapon skins look absolutely incredible. They also have very cool lore inside of them. But you know what's not incredible? The fact that they disappear every patch. You heard that right. The really difficult content that you get, the weapon skins disappear every patch. A lot of people don't have a problem with this, but for me, when Genshin Impact already has endgame rewards that are attainable in a certain way for cosmetic purposes, the envisaged echoes in the Imaginarium Theater, for a big example, what do you do with that? You beat the endgame, you get a key or 2 keys. Then you get to choose which envisaged echo you want to keep on your account forever. You unlock it and do it. It's great. Why couldn't Hoyoverse for this just made it so that when you beat this mode, you get these items, but you can exchange them for whatever skin you want permanently on your account? I had people saying if they'd have done that, it would have caused FOMO. I would argue it's the exact opposite, and that making these weapons only available for 41 days and then they're gone forever is also FOMO, but it's also pointless FOMO, because why would they disappear? Why wouldn't you just be able to keep them? It feels so stupid to waste the potential of these super awesome looking skins and have
That actually looks so clean. That looks
disappear.
clean.
Is it because you're not spending real money on it that they feel like you don't deserve to keep them? I really don't understand. I know it's like a prestige, yeah, you beat it kind of thing, but then if you can only show that you beat it for 41 days or whatever it is, and then it's gone forever, what's the damn point? I think it's so incredibly disappointing, and I really hope
What? That 40? That's true? You sweat your dick off beating this in-game game mode with your like low spender, possibly free to play account, and you keep it for 41 days? Because like the only comparison I can think is like Apex Legends, where you get like Masters or Pred, right? And you get a dive trail that you keep for the entire season until like the next season comes out and basically show it off. But like that's completely like different. Whereas this is like, why wouldn't you keep it permanently? It makes more sense here to keep that permanently and just have like different like I guess chroma skins of the weapon every season. What? They dropped the ball on that. Oh my god.
I hope they listen to some feedback about this, because I really think this game mode has a lot of potential. It just needs a couple of minor tweaks and maybe one major tweak. I want it to still be difficult, and I want it to still be challenging, but I also just want it to be fun and not boring and monotonous and not the same thing as the other endgame that we already have in the goddamn game. Give us something new to look forward to every patch. This is a big rant, and I really don't know if we're going to get any fixes or changes to this in the future. I'm not getting my hopes up anymore. I don't play gacha games for the endgame, and this is primarily the reason why. I've kind of decided now, if I want difficult content, bro, I'm just going to go play MMOs or like Elden Ring for the 3rd time or something. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, actually. We're pushing close to 3.
Like, comment, subscribe to Brand Online if you would like to do that. The link will be in the description. Yeah, that's straight garbage. I apologize if you're a Genshin player and you have to deal with that. I'm so sorry. But I will catch you guys on the next one. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content and my reaction. Peace.